Hey, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make 4 batches of fitness chocolate and how darn fast it is. So we start out with the coconut oil. If you live in a place that's 74 degrees or warmer, it's going to be a liquid. So you just pour it into the blender, and 4 batches is 20 ounces of this magical miracle goodness. So I'm pour out 20 ounces right there. And if it's a solid, then you would want to heat it up on the stove. And the way you do that is just put it in the pan, put the pan on medium, and when it's melted enough so there's kind of a shallow pool, turn the stove off, and the pan will be hot enough to stay warm enough to melt the rest of it just without heat. So, and then it keeps the heat down and it preserves the yammy goodness, magicalness of coconut oil. So then we're going to put in 4 scoops. So each one of these scoops is 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put in 4 scoops of cacao powder. Since it's 4 batches. That's done. Put this back in my chocolate cupboard. And then we go with the chocolate protein powder. I happen to know that, see, one of these jugs, Swanson's is my favorite brand. Can you see it? Can you see it? Is 5 batches. So I've already taken out 3 scoops for something else that I made, a smoothie. So I'm just going to put the rest of this in here because I know now this is 4 batches worth. Holy smokes, that's a lot of protein. That's one of the reasons this fitness chocolate recipe is so amazing for fitness people, because of all the gobs of protein in there. Now we put in the erythritol, and this scoop is 1 tablespoon big. So I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons because we got 4 batches. This is powdered. I powdered it with the with my bullet. You can also do it with a coffee grinder. So when it's powdered, it just smooths out the whole recipe. And now we put in the mint extract. So for 4 batches, I'm going to go a whole tablespoon of this stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm going 2 tablespoons because I'm living on the edge today. And I want it a little bit more minty. So I'm done. Now turn on the blender just to mix it up. It doesn't have to be a beefy blender like this one. It can be any blender. It just needs to be stirred. And at the top, it might cake up a little bit around the top part. So I'm just going to scrape that down. Get it all up on under. Oh, that looks yummy. And then turn it back on. That's all that needs. Now, since we're making almond bark today, yes we are. Now, if I just stopped at this and poured it out into the molds of the cookie sheet, this would taste like a mint frango chocolate. So, which is amazing. But I'm making almond bark with goji berries, so I'm not quite done yet. But if I was just making mint chocolate, I'm already done. 4 batches, mint chocolate, I'm done. That fast. that was like 5 minutes. So I'm gonna point this down so you can see, because we're gonna be mixing up some almond bark. Yeah, we are. Shake that out. Let's put a little bit more up on in there. I like a lot of almonds. Same here with that one. Woo! That's a lot of almonds. That's a 3-pound bag. I just about emptied it out. Lot of almonds. Really, really bad for you if you're allergic to tree nuts. Otherwise, really, really good for you. Tons of fiber. Tons of really good fat. Yamity vitamins. See how that works? That is just almost like magic. It's like unicorns and leprechauns. How that just flattens right out. This one could use some more. Doesn't have to be totally covered. There can be spaces in between them, but I like almonds. So my almond bark is very almond dense. Now, here is the other magical part. So I'm just spacing them out. Here's the other magical part. Goji berries. So now what's gonna happen is we're gonna sprinkle some of this so we get gojis every so often. My cousin Russ prefers to pronounce it goji. Goji berries. Goji. All right. We're gonna do the same thing over here. Oh, goji's trying to escape. Get back here. Yeah, can't get away from me. No, you can't. So we're just spacing this out. Of course, we're not as goji dense as almonds, but there's plenty in there. So we're getting about 1 goji per bite of this goji almond bark. The goji adds chewiness, but it also adds sweetness to it, and that sweetness is yummy goodness because it's like a berry, but it doesn't have all the fructose and stuff of a berry. It's got a lot of fiber, so it's one of the lower fructose berries and higher fiber content berries, and tons of nutrients, vitamins and minerals and fiber and good stuff and namity goodness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on the blender just for one more cycle, because it was sitting here, just to make sure everything is very well, thoroughly, completely mixed up on in there. And I may have gotten a little bit too enthusiastic and optimistic about how far this is going to go, because I think I'm going to run out of chocolate before I run out of pan. So we may not be able to fill up all 3 of these cookie sheets, coating everything. I actually like my almond bark rather thick, so that's another reason I may run out of chocolate before I run out of real estate here. So I'm just kind of going over it again and trying to cover the almonds that didn't get covered on that first pass. Probably good enough. Now we go over to the next one. See, I don't have much left. I don't have enough left to do this third sheet. So I'm gonna make these 2 thicker yet, and then I'm gonna tap it down on some of them there almonds that are still sticking out a little bit. I'm gonna take that spatula I used earlier, and I'm just gonna tap down some gojis, tap down some almonds. And the only step left to do is just stick it in the fridge. And in an hour, I'm gonna have 4 batches of fitness chocolate, which will last me 2 to 3 days. So even doing it the hard way, the long way, making almond bark, it's still under 15 minutes for 4 batches. That's amazing, if I do say so myself. Look at how magical goodness comes out of the fridge. Check this out. I hate fingerprints on my chocolate, even my own, so I put on the gloves, put it in a big old bag, and then have ourselves some fitness chocolate for a few days. So you just bend the pan, then it pops out. Look at this. I bet that's the biggest chocolate bar you've ever seen. Can you see it? Can you see it? Look at that. Almonds and gojis. Look at the beautifulness. Yeah. Breaking it up. And that's how it goes. Oh. So good. Doesn't get much easier than this. No. Yeah. Wow. Look at how much freaking, that's a gallon freezer bag. Just from one tray. Wow. That goes in the freezer or the fridge. And there you have it.